on the Gophers Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official sports bar of March Madness. Now, here's the voice of the Gophers, Mike Grimm.
Welcome to Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved. So we were having a little pregame conversation. Welcome to the show. We've got a nice crowd here at Buffalo Wild Wings and a couple of games to recap. A win over Iowa, and then an overtime setback over the weekend on Friday night to USC, and then a big game Tuesday night with the Wisconsin Badgers. Justin Gard is back. Holy cow, what a thrill it is to have you on.
I'm sure for all of you. You were so flummoxed by, you didn't start the show on time.
I know.
You actually saw a guy over here. Yeah. You're still the host. You know I'm here.
Here we are. How are you, Coach?
Good. Grimm is fired up today. Ready for the Badgers tomorrow? We got it going even before the air. I love it. I love the intensity.
Yes, ready for the Badgers for sure. Well, we've got a couple of games to recap. We'll go, Gargi, you want to go chronologically? We'll start with last Tuesday's.
Whatever you want. Go ahead.
You go ahead. You start with the Iowa Hawkeyes.
You know, this is where we should have a pre-show meeting. I ask you, what's the plan for the show? And now you do something we've never done. Do you ever do things, Coach, that you don't practice? Like before you get into a game, do you like to have a plan and get in there and say, you don't just go into a timeout and go, we're going to run a play we haven't done all year in a big situation?
Practice? We don't practice.
Well, you don't. You only have 7 guys.
I'm sorry. I thought we had a couple of professionals up here that would just be able to handle it and ask a question about the game.
I can do you guys' job if you want.
You want to ask us questions.
Yeah.
Well, nice win against the Iowa Hawkeyes for sure.
Well, I appreciate it. That was a really fun night. I thought our guys had a great mindset going into the game. I thought our defense in the first half was as well as we've played all year against a really good Iowa team. And Langston, I thought, set the tone on Bennett Sturts. Our ball screen defense was great. Everybody was playing together, was playing hard. We executed on offense. Again, I couldn't have asked more in the first half. Really, to be honest, for about the first 15 minutes into the second half, so about 35 of those minutes were terrific. And you knew they were going to make a run. It obviously got a little hairy there at the end, but I think the basketball gods worked in our favor. And sometimes it happens that way, but I thought we really outplayed them and earned the right to win that game. So thank goodness it worked out.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought the team that deserved to win won the game for sure. And they do take a lead there for a second, and you're starting to think, man, are we going to let this leak away? But the thing that I really liked about the group, and it has kind of been the case through this winning streak you guys had, was that they just weren't going to let it not be a win. They made the plays necessary.
You just got to go on and make the next play, whatever it was. And so, Jalen Crocker-Johnson hits that huge three, didn't hesitate at all. And we just didn't look back from there. So it was a real gut check there at the end. But again, it's growth in our guys, not panicking when it starts to go get away from you. That's kind of basketball. There's runs in the game. Very rarely do you just go out there and especially against really good teams, just kind of, dominate from beginning to end and pull away. You love when those happen, but that's usually not the way it works.
Is that something that you are talking about late in the game? Because I know when the lead is dwindling and they're making some shots, and some of it is too, is they have to make shots, so they're just letting them fly, right? And they're good shooters. Yep. That you can see it on guys' faces sometimes. Maybe not so much in the Iowa game, but in other games, and we've certainly all watched enough basketball. Do you have to, as the head coach, really get their minds right and go, we can't worry about it now. There's only one way moving forward?
Yeah, I think most coaches are just constantly, it's a cliche, but, the next best action, nothing that happened the play before, the half before, whatever has anything to do with what's going to happen on the next possession. You just got to keep digging in and playing. And I think you learn those things, the resiliency. I thought, we had just been in a game at Northwestern, say we were down and the guys came back and didn't, panic in the timeout and just made the next play. And so I think they're really starting to learn that as a group. But it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And sometimes we've all been in those situations. It can be helpless as a coach. The other team starts getting on a run and they get aggressive and you miss a couple free throws. And I thought we even missed a couple of good looks in that stretch that maybe could have, kept them at arm's length. But again, that's the way it goes. I'm just proud of our guys for hanging in there and making enough plays, a couple teaching things at the end of that game that we can do better in those close games. But, man, what a great win for us. And already have 2 opportunities for the students to storm the court here is really, really cool. You want them to come. You want them to have a great time, to have those memories, and then, hopefully come back to the next game. And hopefully we're starting to build that here because that's huge for our program.
What is important, or what was important with Sturts, as you mentioned, because he didn't have a very good half. I think you said post-game, you told the guys, he's really good. He's going to get going at some point. He's not going to let that bother him. So I don't expect you to give me the scouting report and the whole breakdown, but what's important with a guy like that?
Well, most of his stuff is created off ball screens, right? And so he's a great pick and roll player. That's what Iowa does. They run a ball screen motion offense. I just thought we did a great job at the point of attack, and sometimes it just starts with not letting, we call them bingos, not letting a guard reject the ball screen. And a lot of it, guys, it's just having the toughness to battle through those screens. And, you want to get 2 to the ball for as little as possible, in those ball screen situations. And I thought our guys did that. I thought the players behind him, we call them the 3/5. It's 5 guys guarding that ball screen action. I thought just did a great job over and over and over again, and really making it difficult in their ball screen motion to create an advantage. And, later in the game, it was just a lot more one-on-one stuff, that he did, and got downhill on us a few times on some different switches and stuff like that. But again, it's hard. You do it for 28 minutes. You do it for 32 minutes. It's really hard to do that for a player for 40 minutes, a guy his caliber.
And then Langston Reynolds, as you mentioned, once it became apparent that Sturts was going to try to take the game over and the ball was going to be in his hands, and they were working just back and forth on those screens out front. Honestly, I'm not sure I've seen a 4 or 5 minute stretch where a guy's worked harder playing defense, going up, over, under, trying to get through, and pretty contained him pretty well there. I mean, I thought Sturts looked like he was getting frustrated. You mentioned this too. He plays like a robot, and that's meant as a compliment, not a, he just is a machine out there. Like he just keeps going. But I thought, if you could see any frustration, maybe you could sense it there a little bit with him.
I think one thing that's really important against great players and scores is to try to get off to a good start. If you let him get going early in the game, now you really got a problem on your hands, and we saw that a little bit, next night against USC. But I thought the start on him early, he had to work really hard to get the points that he got, and I think that's really what you want to do.
What's the Niko Medved inner monologue as those 3 final shots are going up in that final possession?
Man, it happened so fast.
You almost swore a couple weeks ago, I remember, so I want to warn you, be careful.
It's really a helpless feeling, to be honest. You go down, we're in defense, they need a 3. Again, we talked about it before. I don't believe with the new continuation rule and whatever, it's hard to foul. So there's like 14 seconds. They're bringing it full court. You can't foul with, 10 seconds left. That's too much time, in my opinion. You want to be probably 5 or under, something along those lines. Well, they've already got the ball in the front court, and fans know the new rule. You go in and you start to foul a guy like that in the front court. They still get one more step now in college and can shoot it. You saw it in the Notre Dame game the other night that they lost, right? They give him 3-5, and he made it, 4-point play, but you definitely don't want to foul him shooting a 3. So you're in your 3-point field goal defense. He took a tough one, I thought, to start. He just shot it right away. Kind of took a weird carom, I thought, but we didn't come up with the rebound. You get the rebound, the game might be over, right? Get the rebound, make one more free throw, 4 points, game's over. They get it. Guy makes a great play, kicks it to the corner, gets a pretty clean look. And this is the one where we contest it, and everybody, not everybody, but kind of stares and watches it. And that's where I'm just like, oh no, and they get another one. And that was that third one. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm already planning. Honestly, my monologue is like, all right, what do we got to do to get these guys ready for overtime?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
I'm just like, okay, this goes in. These guys are going to come in here. What are we going to do to get ourselves? We just outplayed them the whole game. How are we going to regroup and get these guys ready for overtime? That's what I'm thinking. And then it misses, and you're like, thank God Almighty, right?
Yeah.
And then join the celebration.
Yeah. How quickly does it, what's your first thought after, when it's clear and you're like, and everybody's coming out on the floor? We talked about it on the TV show. It happens so fast. That's got to be a pretty cool feeling.
It's a really cool feeling. It takes you a second to kind of process a little bit, but then by the time you get kind of through the handshake line, over there, you're kind of like, heck yeah. And that never gets old.
And you forget how long 3 seconds can be, because I think part of why everyone's just watching that second shot is, well, that's going to be the last shot. The time is obviously going to run out, and then it misses, and now you're like, It's still 2 seconds, still 1 second. Then he gets a shot off, and you can do a lot on a basketball court in 3 seconds. It's a good lesson there, too.
You definitely can. You usually say a dribble or a pass, per second, kind of thing. And it was interesting, this new rule in college hoops, and the head of officials was at our game, Friday night, and hopefully, I think they'll probably change it to more of the NBA model. It's new for college officials, this continuation rule where they actually got to be attempting a real shot. It's supposed to be more shots at the rim, not where, guy, you foul him and he just flails and, throws one up. Yep. But, they haven't really cleaned that up yet. So again, it puts you in a precarious position. For fan, we probably would have, if we were shooting the free throw to go up 3 and there was like 6 seconds or less, we probably would have tried to foul in the backcourt. Then I think that, could be a good play, but there was just too much time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's take our first break. We'll come back. We'll recap Friday's game. We'll preview Tuesday night basketball, Minnesota and Wisconsin. That is all straight ahead. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings, and it is Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved. We're at the University of Minnesota location right next to Williams Arena. Buffalo Wild Wings, proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics and the official sports bar of March Madness. Our Tuesday night broadcast starts at 5:30. We'll take air at 6. Stay with us. It's Golden Gopher Basketball from Learfield.
Dear Winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the Svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's website, visit 10/20/25.
Small but mighty. Tough yet flexible. Bagster bags from WM mix durability with convenience for all kinds of projects. From home cleanups, renovations, and more. Bagster is a dumpster to make disposal easy. You fill it, WM collects it. To learn more, visit thebagster.com or purchase a Bagster at your local retailer. Buy, fill, gone. Bagster by WM.
Visit the University of Minnesota Bookstore, your destination for the area's largest selection of U of M and Golden Gopher apparel, gifts, and novelties for fans of all ages. From the latest styles to timeless favorites, it's your one-stop shop for all things Gophers. And when you shop here, you're giving back because every purchase directly supports the University of Minnesota. Stop by our campus location or shop anytime online at bookstores.umn.edu. Go Gophers!
Are you looking for concert or sports tickets? As a local Minnesota company, Ticket King is a company you can trust. They have seats to fit every budget and even offer parking or tailgating passes, and all tickets are guaranteed. Each order is personally attended to by one of our dedicated customer service representatives who are committed to providing you with a courteous, professional, quick, convenient experience. Visit us at TicketKingOnline.com or call us directly at 612-341-4131.
Buffalo Wild Wings has partnered with the Gopher men's basketball team for the Gophers Win You Win promotion this season. After every Gopher men's basketball victory, fans win 6 free wings. The offer is valid at participating Buffalo Wild Wings locations throughout Minnesota with a $10 minimum purchase for 2 days following each Gopher win. Fans are also invited to join the Niko Medved Coaches Show on Tuesdays from 12 to 1 at the Buffalo Wild Wings University of Minnesota location. For full details, visit gophersports.com/BWW. Buffalo Wild Wings is a proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics and the official sports bar of March Madness.
Imagine getting insider access to your favorite Gopher student athlete, exclusive events, behind-the-scenes content, and unique experiences that bring you closer than ever. That's what you get as a member of Dinkytown Athletes. With memberships starting at just $10 a month, every membership directly supports Gopher student athletes through NIL opportunities, helping them grow on campus and beyond. Take your fan experience to the next level. Visit DinkytownAthletes.com today.
You depend on CenterPoint Energy to deliver energy for what matters most to you, your neighbors, and throughout the land of 10,000 lakes, so we can all make a better tomorrow. That's why we're investing in the latest technology to reduce emissions, offer rebates on qualifying energy-efficient natural gas equipment, and provide energy-saving programs that help save you money. Look ahead at centerpointenergy.com/futuremn.
Playing the Minnesota Lottery is a great way to add some win to your winter. Because while it's long, winter should be fun. And it's the everyday moments that help us through winter. A hot chocolate waiting when we come inside. An extra set of gloves. A fluffy new winter hat. So win this winter by picking up winter scratch games from the Minnesota Lottery. I'm in. Must be 18 or older to play.
Beats, bites, and big plays start here. Mystic Lake's Hop House is now open. Turn up the volume with live music every weekend. Savor all-star flavors that bring the heat, surrounded by wall-to-wall game day action. Legendary nights are on tap at the Twin Cities' newest sports bar and live music destination, Hop House. Now open at Mystic Lake Casino Hotel. Proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics. Details at mysticlake.com.
No matter how you drive it, there's a Ford for you. On the work site or out in the town, F-Series trucks provide power and toughness when you need it most. It's what makes them the best-selling trucks in America for 48 years. When adventure calls, the Bronco family always answers. That's because they're made for the great outdoors. With a flexible interior, the Ford Explorer adapts towards your needs. Visit your local Northland Ford dealers to find the perfect Ford for you. Plus, a great offer to go along with it. Based on 1977 to 2024 CY Industry reported total sales.
Now you risk not getting it in. No, I know, but it costs them in case they need it. Welcome back. Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved. Welcome to the show one more time. We've got basketball Tuesday night, Minnesota and Wisconsin. It is a 6 o'clock tip-off, the border battle, and it is tickets available at gophersports.com. All right, let's talk about this past Friday's game, overtime game. It was a struggle for a while there. You guys then put the charge on, come from behind, take a lead late. After watching the film now, what do you have a better feel for kind of how the thing all unfolded?
It was a tough loss. I mean, in a lot of ways, losing's always hard. But I thought, on the positive side, being down 13, went through some foul trouble there early in the first half. Decided to not play a couple of those guys with 2 in the first half. Thought we mitigated that. But to be down 13 and battle back the way we did and take the lead, I thought showed a lot of guts from that team. So they're really showing me something. You look out, Bobby Durkin played 45 minutes. Yeah. Cade Dyson played 45 minutes. I thought they gave us everything they had. And it's unfortunate we just couldn't find a way to make one more play. We did some good things and a couple things that didn't go our way, down the stretch. Give them credit. I thought they made some tough shots, too. Did a great job taking away all of our back cuts. They were kind of unique in what they did defensively. And then as a coach, I always look back at a couple of those situations. All right, what could we have done differently to try to help them? There was one thing we didn't execute the way we needed to. And we had a couple of different guys on the floor maybe than we normally would have had in that situation. Guys being out of the game, but that's not an excuse, And you're always saying as a coach, well, maybe I didn't, wasn't clear enough. So it's not on them. But that's the way it goes. And like I told the guys, you're in the arena, you have the game the other night that goes your way. It's that exhilaration. And then the heartbreaking one that doesn't. Man, you're going to have those. And that's just part of being in the arena. Most people who haven't been there don't understand what that feels like emotionally. And that's fine to let it hurt. But then, man, you got to get over it. Yeah. And we got another one here coming up on Tuesday. Yeah. So.
And when you talk about the arena, you mean literally the arena, but figuratively the arena as well.
Literally, yeah.
In both cases. And I asked you this in the pregame coming off of an emotional win. How do you handle it to keep the guys grounded? And then I asked you in the postgame, okay, you have a 5-game winning streak snapped. How do you handle it? And in essence, you're like, we don't change much, but after a loss, we do want to, hammer out what happened and learn and then dispatch it and then move on.
Well, I said the same thing in a win. Even after a win, what you wouldn't accept in losing, you can't accept in winning either. So same thing against Iowa, USC, both close games. Doesn't matter whether we win or lost. There's a lot of things we got to learn from both those situations. Just like Northwestern went our way, a lot of things you got to learn. So what I mean is you don't change those things. You got to keep growing and learning no matter what. And man, you got to let it hurt. You got to let it sting, and that's okay. But then you've got to come in, learn from it, and you got to get your spirit back, get ready to roll.
Yeah, what keeps you up that night, like as the coach? Like, are you a guy that can deal with it the next day? We talk about you don't watch film usually until the next day. I don't know if you did that on Friday or not, but what are you thinking about as you go home and process?
I always think about myself first, like, could I have helped them? Like, is there something else that I could have done as a coach to try to help them in that situation? That's the first thing I always do. I do that every game. I think that's your responsibility. And, you always are willing to tell the players the next day, hey, I didn't do a good enough job here for you guys, or I wish I would have, that's not your fault. And I think that's okay. I think players appreciate that. That's what creates the accountability across your program. So that's what gets me. A couple of those situations, man, like, God, I liked what we did there. Maybe we should, if it didn't work, you're like, well, maybe we should have tried something different, that kind of a thing. The defensive play late when we got the lead in overtime, man, we didn't have a timeout there left, and you kind of know what they're going to do, and we didn't get to the switch we needed to, and probably I thought it was a tough call, but it doesn't matter. We let, Mazzara get downhill. I mean, everybody on planet Earth knows who's going to shoot the shot. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that was frustrating a little bit, but, so yeah, you do. And then you it's hard to sleep usually, that night. Sure. But you got to get up the next day. I watched the film, and then, man, I'm on to the Badgers.
You mentioned the defense that they played. Kind of midway through the first half, they essentially just put their 7'5" guy in the middle and kept him off Langston Reynolds. So what, for Gopher fans, I think we'd call that the Femi Odekali, right? Because some other teams did that a few years ago. So what made that unique or different, and how did you try to navigate that?
Well, I think the difference was it's one thing. I mean, teams do that, but it's one thing to have a 7'4" guy or whatever than a 6'9" guy, right?
For sure.
Doing it. So I think that was a little bit different for us that way. But when I went back and watched it, we still had some good opportunities, to do it. So it was different. It wasn't like it was something we hadn't talked about or worked on, at all. But, yeah, it did. It took away some of our back cuts and everything. But at the same point in time, I really thought defensively in the second half, I thought we did a great job. I thought we were really good that way. We made it difficult on them. We challenged them. They made some tough shots too.
Crazy ones.
You got to give them credit. That's the way that the game goes. So yeah, it was different, but it wasn't, anything that we hadn't necessarily seen before. What made it unique was not everybody has the 7'4" guy. And what's interesting about them, that kid sometimes doesn't play at all.
I looked at his minutes.
I mean, yeah. And so sometimes he doesn't even play. So like you're preparing for him. And then heck, they played him 36 minutes, and it's funny. So it just sometimes, game to game things happen. And that's the way it worked out the other night.
In a situation like that too, you've got a guard who's basically being dared to shoot. So looking at Langston's history, he was a 20% 3-point shooter as a freshman. It was like 18% as a sophomore, then 40% last year. I mean, he made 18 threes. So at what point do you say, we gotta have him take a few of those threes, or we're not going to have him? And what is your thoughts on that part of it?
I think, I mean, somewhere in the middle. I think, it's not necessarily, hey, just go down and shoot the first one, but I think, being willing to shoot some of those. It says in the stat sheet he shot 4. But one of them was just a grenade, at the end of the clock. We call them grenades, right? End of the clock, somebody throws it to you, man, you know what I mean? That doesn't even count. But he did shoot, and he made one. Grayson made one too. So those guys went 2 of 5. Look at the analytics. That's pretty good.
Well,
you know what I mean? So they're open to it. That's more than a point of possession. You take that any day.
Does I'm going to guess the answer is no, but just part of you say, if they're going to just give it to him, let Langston take 10 threes, and if he hits 3, you might one, get him out of that, or 2, 3 of 10 is pretty. I mean, analytically that works.
Yeah, I think there is some of that. We talk about. I think it's like everything else. It doesn't mean that's the first shot you explore all the time. I mean, you always want to put pressure on the rim, and there's so many other things we can do. But yeah, I mean, those guys shoot, every day in practice, and you watch them, and so yeah, I think there's a balance there. But yeah, sometimes it's just, hey, you got to be willing to shoot when you're open.
Yeah. Could you feel the barn crowds at a different level last week in both of those games?
Oh yeah. It's fun. I thought the crowd, really got into it. I thought when we were making our run in the second half against USC, you could really feel, the energy in the crowd, and that's awesome. And both games, and I make sure, just because it didn't go our way against USC, man, the crowd made a huge. We don't come back, in my opinion, without like that energy from the crowd that way. So that was phenomenal.
You're welcome. I was there. You're welcome.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate you like doing that. Thank you.
My father did think I was on the officials too much. We did have a little bit of a father-son skit.
Oh, boy.
He's like, you really shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, well,
Why?
sorry.
Why shouldn't you be doing that?
That's what I said. I go, I'm here. I'm going to participate.
Yeah.
You paid your money. You have every
Exactly right.
And in this case, he literally did pay his money. They weren't freebies. It was a media pass.
That shouldn't be surprising to anybody.
Were you able to get good
I'm a little
seats?
surprised.
Got good seats.
Did you?
Yeah, we got good seats. Yeah, they were good.
Okay. You knew somebody though.
No, gophersports.com/tickets. There was no inside. I mean, I can show you the receipt. I didn't call anybody.
Yeah, we
text
believe
anybody.
you. You're a man of integrity. Like,
I am. I try to be.
Yeah.
That basketball budget's going to look a little bit better because of what I had to do on Friday.
Can I tell him where you sat?
Sure, if you want to.
So he was one of the
if
guys.
people care.
Yeah, they do. Everyone cares about you, Guardsy. He sat in the seats right on courtside where you can set your drink and popcorn right on the court.
Really?
Yeah, he had the big expensive seats down there, and he did.
Good for him.
He did fund it out of the Guardsy account, so it was nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, if I got paid for this show, I might buy season tickets there.
Yeah,
exactly. But I get wings when I show up.
It's a volunteer effort here.
So
it was fun. I'm not always the best social media guy, but it was fun. I got a lot of messages. People, went to the barn and try to come back, and people saying, we're going to come back and buy tickets again, and it's just kind of organically doing that.
Sure.
People come and they have fun, and they want to come back. That's the idea.
Yeah, I got an email today from a guy who said he had brought a 7-year-old kid and enjoyed it and made memories, and they'll be back. So
I love
those
it.
are the kind of things. You had 2 chances late, right? One in regulation and one in overtime to knock down a buzzer beater that would have been a great walk-off. So take us through strategically what you usually look for in late-game situations. Obviously, the guy that you want to shoot it had the ball in his hands, number 2 scorer in the Big Ten.
Yeah, you're in that situation. So Isaac had fouled out, obviously. So you're have a little bit of a different, your point guard, so to speak, or your second, another handler's not on the floor. So that kind of changes up a little bit, maybe some of the things that we had practiced. So one of the things we did was not something we had practiced, but was pretty simple, and we just didn't quite clear out the space the way that I wanted to. So that's the one I was a little disappointed in, and it wasn't, the fault. Maybe I wasn't clear enough, and it's a very simple thing of getting the ball to Cade, in the right spot or whatever, and allowing him to kind of with some space to make a play. Still got to look there.
Was that the regulation?
Yeah, it didn't. And then in overtime, again, we get simple. He had a smaller guy on him. We wanted to throw it to him down there, and I thought we got the ball to exactly the spot we wanted to. And if you look at the play, he's getting ready, and he's about to the spot he wants, and he's about to turn and shoot what I think is a pretty clean look.
Yep.
And that kid did a nice job just at the last second, reached around and just got his finger on the ball and kind of knocked it loose to the baseline. So now he had to go recover it on the baseline, and we're kind of dead. So it was just sort of unfortunate because I thought, he was about ready. He had gotten to the spot. He was a lot bigger than that guy, which we knew, and he's about ready to turn and just shoot it over him. And the kid did pretty much the only thing he could do in that scenario. He reached around him from behind and just got a finger on it and just tipped it loose, and kind of is what it is.
Yeah, and the rest is history, as they say. All right, let's take another break. We'll come back. We have the long contested 2 with Justin Guard, who's back with us today. Stay with us. This is Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved from Learfield. With you, Gopher basketball Tuesday night this week, Minnesota and Wisconsin, 6 o'clock tip-off, gophersports.com. We have come to the time of the show that we have the long contested 2. Before we get to that, though, Guards, you had a fun day yesterday. We should give a minute or two to this for sure.
Yeah, 1-point victory over number 21 USC yesterday in front of the best crowd of the season. It was tremendous. Yeah, it was awesome. Kind of a signature win.
And Nico's got a big one Tuesday night, as we just mentioned, but the Gopher women Wednesday night have a top tier team coming in.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the rankings today because I know Texas lost, but UCLA is 4, either 3 or 4. They were in the Final Four a year ago. Lauren Betts is one of the best players in the country. They're outstanding, and they're coming here 7 o'clock Wednesday and Sunday night. Yeah, or on Wednesday night, I should say.
Did you hold it together on the air yesterday?
My voice did crack during one very key stretch, which was a little embarrassing. And thank you to everybody at Gopher Women's Basketball social media for picking that clip to play and circulate.
They always manage to tremendous. I'm going to have to go find that.
Yeah, it's just follow me at Guardsy. I've retweeted it, trying to get. I was like you the other day, was thanking people and tweeting people, and so my voice cracked there, which was fun.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Very good. Yeah, what a win.
I mean, this week at the barn honestly was incredible.
Yeah.
With the 2 men's games and with the women's game yesterday, it really does show the power of the building and the power of what can be there. I know you believe that wholeheartedly, Nico, and it was an awesome. I wasn't there on Tuesday. I'll be there against the Badgers, but just being there on Friday night and being there yesterday, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome. And, people have asked me too, like, well, what about, recruits? I'm telling you guys, like, players love playing there. Opposing teams like playing there.
Right.
And it's such a cool spot. So, that's not the problem. And people just have to embrace, I get it. The concessions aren't perfect and maybe you got to walk a little bit longer to the game. But I mean, come on, we're from Minnesota. My goodness. You know what I mean? Like, you don't live in Malibu or whatever. I mean, like, are we that soft? You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's go. That's how we're built. Like, come out and, when the energy's going in the building, it's great. And this should be another great week, right?
Yes.
Wisconsin tomorrow night, and the women play UCLA. And again, I think college basketball matters here, and fans need to come out and support.
All right, awesome. We ready for what time by the game day? By
7.
the way, 7 on Wednesday.
Yep, 7 o'clock Wednesday.
6 on Tuesday.
I'm very hesitant to do this. Because I'm worried about you, Grimmer. I'm worried about you, Grimmer, in this segment.
For this long contested.
I'm hesitant to do it, and it's not really about anything specifically. But what got me on it and why I wanted to write it down was I was watching some clip that the Lakers TV broadcast had, and Robert Horry and James Worthy were talking about Luka. And I think the Lakers had just lost. And one of the things that Luka had done was he missed a bunch of shots. And Robert Horry was like, you know what I don't like about Luka? He's looking for fouls. He's not even looking to shoot. He's not even looking to score. He's just looking to get the call. That's where you're going to stay out of this one, Grimmer, for a minute. But I've been on this for a while.
You're putting me right in the crosshair.
Yeah.
I can already
No, I'm not.
see
Well, because I know Grim's opinion, but I'm just curious because it's something that I think definitely has changed in the last, 5 or 10 years at the NBA level for sure with SGA, and I'll never back off my stance there.
I was going to say you should worry about yourself.
I know, but I'm curious, like, when did you start to see this evolve into, when there's times where players aren't even looking to score anymore. They just want to get to the line, and they want to fool the officials, and they want to do whatever. And when did you notice it, or how do you kind of deal with it or process it, or am I just overreacting to what I'm seeing?
No, I mean, I'll start by saying this. I will say it, no problem saying it. To me, it's one of the worst things in basketball right now.
Thank you.
I've always hated it. I think now, obviously, people want more scoring, and I get it. But these you really take skill out of the game when you're just allowing these players to just launch, into the defense, to force the action. And you're really putting the defense in a position where there's nothing they can do. You just want them to get out of the way. Like what do you want my guy to do there? I don't like that. I personally think there should be just more no calls. Sometimes I think officials just feel like they have to put a whistle on it all the time when there's contact.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think the best play is to just let those things go.
Told you to stay out of it, Kramer.
I think letting those plays go, no call, more of those, when you can clearly see the offense is just trying to initiate it. Now, you've got to do a great job, and we teach it every day to, we call it hands to the lights or keeping your hands away, and, you can be strong with your chest and whatever on a guy. I actually think it helps the game more because you think about it, if you watch the NBA and even at our level now, if a guy drives it in and he kind of flails or launches and they miss a shot at the rim and they fall down or whatever because they're flopping and the other team gets the rebound, it's a fast break the other way with numbers. And I think that's what the fans want to see. They don't want to see somebody going to the line 26 times, flopping around out there. I don't like it. I wish it was something that they could change and they could penalize. I think some of the egregious ones, they should call foul on the offense. We just played a guy, and again, I'm not trying that, kicks out his legs on every shot. I don't like that play. I just think it's a bad play, and I wish we could do a better job of getting that out of our game. So there, I said it.
Well, it's be unprofessional. I could hug you right now because that's what I've said in the NBA for sure. I think it's the biggest problem they have, and whether it's SGA or James Harden or Luka, it just doesn't feel like basketball to me. And I know in terms of defensive flopping. Not to say anything about a team that might be coming here this week historically. They took that, but they took that out of the game, right? Or they tried to at least with the flopping rule defensively. So, and you see a lot of people do the whole flop thing, get up. The officials will do it, fans will do it, coaches will do it. So I think they tried to do that defensively, but now it's almost gone to the offensive side, and I don't know what we do.
officials have done a much better job with the defense. First of all, you can't as a secondary defender, taking a charge is almost gone from our game now. That's made it a better game. It's got to be the primary defender taking a charge. So they've done a good job cleaning that up. I think the offensive one is next. And then having said that, though, there's an art to getting to the free throw line.
There is.
And guys want to, hey, at the end of the day, they want to win. And if they think that they can get to the line, and there's some guys who are really good at it. But it drives me crazy, the guys who flop and jump into the defense. And hopefully we can just find that happy medium somewhere. And again, I wish more of those were just play-ons.
When I see, highlights from traveling basketball games and a 7-year-old's coming across on a pick and roll and acts like his head's been, snapped back, I go, I think we've lost the plot, Nico.
Yeah.
I think we've lost.
Are you seeing that down there?
Our kids aren't talented enough to do it. No shade on our kids, but I have people get videos on social media of you see 8-year-olds that are coming off screens and pretending, they got just blasted.
That's tough.
But that's because they're watching the big kids, right? They're watching the adults. So I'm glad you're on my side. And I know where you are.
Do you have your kids shooting 30-footers off the dribble like Steph too? They see that?
Well, that's how they warm up.
Right.
When you tell them go get shots up, for 5 minutes while the coaches figure out what we're going to do. Yeah, they start just jacking it from half court, and then you got to blow the whistle and start. Yeah, there's not a lot of form shooting going on right now.
That's great. Yeah.
Oh man.
All right.
Oh, I'm on your side.
In the and in the NBA, the leg kick thing, that is now that's an offensive foul. Maybe the NCAA should look at that. But I agree with you. Play on is a great call.
Yep.
Play on is an outstanding call, and you don't need to reward people for that. Look, these are high level athletes playing in Big Ten basketball. Stay on your feet. Just stay on your feet. The game is meant to be played on your feet.
It's teaching guys to have more skill. If you want to drive it in there in the teeth of the defensive body, then you have to have the skill to make those shots, versus contact. And can you get it up on the glass? Can you,
right.
Those are hard shots. And so, a lot of times, like you said, though, the offense doesn't have a plan, right?
Yeah.
The plan is to hope the official blows the whistle. And those are the ones I just think we've got to do a better job of having a feel for and just don't blow the whistle.
All right. That's what I got, Grim.
That's it. Very good. That was
that was easy, man. You were right in my wheelhouse. Yeah.
I'll have one follow-up. How often, because it does vary, I'm sure, by coaching staffs and philosophy, and how often you want to, maybe not at all, but how often do you communicate with the league's director of officials, and how much, do you send in tape? Do you not send in tape?
You love the communication with the league office. That's what's gotten you another Sportscaster of the Year award here in Minnesota.
That's it.
For 20 years, that's been the one constant, the league office conversation.
Yeah. Because I think it's a factor. I do.
Yeah, well, I'm not that guy, and I never have. I'm not a guy who tries to complain all the time. I'm not the guy that wants to be, here's the weekly call from the guy complaining about a bad call that came up. I don't want to be that guy, because
Mike Grimm again.
Yeah. But, there comes a time, a head official is actually at the game Friday, and I can tell you that in this particular instance, Saturday morning, there were a few things that were sent to him.
Yeah, very good.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, very good. All right.
Grim loves that. That's Grim's favorite thing.
It's outstanding. Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. Stay with us. It's Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved from Learfield.
Gopher fans know the power of a great team. M Health Fairview University of Minnesota Medical Center is ranked the #1 hospital in the Twin Cities by U.S. News and World Report. This is more than an award. It's a reflection of our team of doctors, nurses, and staff who deliver world-class care so you can be at the top of your game. As the official healthcare provider of Gopher Athletics, M Health Fairview is proud to serve people across the state.
Midland Hills Country Club is well known as one of the finest golf clubs in the Twin Cities. The club has completely renovated its classic Seth Rayner designed course back to its original design. Enjoy a meticulously maintained course in a newly renovated ballroom and patio accommodating up to 300 guests in smaller breakout rooms, along with an executive boardroom overlooking the beautiful course. The club offers a great golf experience in a comfortable social atmosphere and is conveniently located just 10 minutes from either downtown. Visit MidlandHillsCC.org.
You can guarantee yourself a Minnesota Maroon and Gold win when you sell your business with True North Mergers and Acquisitions. True North M&A is a local alumni-owned company and a proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics. True North M&A provides brokerage services to small businesses as well as mergers and acquisition services to companies up to $250 million in revenue. Are you thinking about selling? True North M&A helps you maximize your life's work. Visit TNMA.com for a confidential conversation. Minnesota's largest seller of companies. That's TNMA.com.
Dear Winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the Svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/25.
With the head coach, Niko Medved, we want to thank our on-site engineer this week. Jared Wells is here with us at the Buffalo Wild Wings on the U of M campus. David Jordan is our producer. Joe DeSimon, we want to thank him for helping set it up, and Michelle Train-Traversy as well. A couple of quick notes. No gift card giveaway today for various reasons, so we're going to give away 2 gift cards next week. We want to thank the University of Minnesota Bookstore for the area's largest selection of U of M and Golden Gopher apparel, gifts, and novelties for fans of all ages, from the latest styles to timeless favorites. It is your one-stop shop, and every purchase directly supports the University of Minnesota. Shop in-store or online at bookstores.umn.edu. We're coming to you from Buffalo Wild Wings, proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics and the official sports bar of March Madness. So it's the border battle. You won the border battle last Tuesday. We got one this Tuesday, Wisconsin and Minnesota, and the Badgers coming off of an impressive win, handing the Wolverines of Michigan their first loss of the year. So tell us about the badge.
At Michigan, too. Yeah. I like how you slid that in there. Wisconsin. I mean, it's hard to kind of, I don't even know how I want to say this, but it's a big game. I mean, the guys know it. Big rivalry game. They've had a great program, for years. I mean, since Bo and Greg, I've known Greg for a long time. He does a terrific job. They play really well on both ends of the floor. They're obviously, I think, playing their best basketball of the year. They played very well against UCLA the other day, and to go into Michigan and win and play the way that they did, especially on the offensive end, was really impressive. And they shoot it from all 5 spots. I think that's what makes it really tricky. Their bigs can all shoot the 3. They can roll to the basket. They have 2 dynamic guards, in Boyd and Blackwell. I'm really familiar with Nick Boyd. He was at, San Diego State last year, so we played against him and know what he's all about. So, yeah, they're a really good team, but it's life in the Big Ten, guys, So excited to get back after it tomorrow. I think we're going to have a great crowd, and our guys will be fired up and ready to give their all.
How different offensively are they now from maybe the the Bo Ryan version, where I think every high school in Wisconsin is running some type of the swing offense, and they're trading towels when they sub, right? That's the impact that they've had there. But Kirk Penny came a year or 2 ago, and I think kind of switched some things up offensively, and he's not with them anymore, but it seems like that's been different if people haven't watched the Badgers in a few years.
Yeah, I mean, they've completely changed offensive philosophy. They play a lot faster now. They're running, what started out as kind of a European ball screen continuity. A lot of teams are running a variation of it. I think what makes them so good too is their bigs can shoot. So, they really put you in hard spacing positions. They do a great job moving the ball. Much like a lot of teams, no matter how you cover it, whether you switch, hard hedge, whatever it is, they know what to do with the ball, and it puts so much pressure on you with, again, the ability to shoot the ball at every position. That's really spreads you out defensively. But yeah, it looks a lot different than the old swing, and a lot of it's just the pace of play. And they can hang 90 on you in a hurry if you're not ready. The old teams didn't really do a lot in transition. These guys will. So they do a great job. I like the way that they play and that they go about their business, but I don't love it.
Nor should you.
And I never will.
Nor should
tell you that.
Yeah, we agree.
When you look at what they bring as well, it's funny as the seasons go. There's ebbs and flows of the season, even within within the Gopher season. You won 5 straight. Right before that, maybe there were a couple of games that you weren't totally thrilled with. And now you got a team like Michigan, right? They're beating people by 30 and 40, and everyone says this is going to be one of the great teams, and they still probably will, put their mark on the season. But then life in the Big Ten, they go to Penn State as I think it was like 26-point favorite or something, win by, was it 2? And then
it was close. It was a little bit more, but it went down.
It was I think a 2-point game late, and then come home and Wisconsin, who 2-3 weeks ago they were kind of meandering through a little bit of a no man's land, and now all of a sudden, as you said, they put it together. But that's the ebbs and flows of a Big Ten basketball season.
It's ebbs and flows of your team season. It's ebb and flow too of individual players. I mean, basketball is so different than football, and there's so many possessions, so many more games, so many more variables, and sometimes guys, they're hot for a while shooting it, and maybe they're not, and it's amazing how that works. And sometimes the key to having a great season is to find ways to win when you don't have your fastball. Typically maybe you don't have your A game, but you still find a way to win games, I think, is sometimes the trick. And no, Wisconsin, at least this last week, is playing their best basketball, but that's okay. We have no control over how they are in their little ebb and flow or rhythm or whatever. I have no control over that. The only thing we control is what we're going to do Tuesday night. And so we'll be ready to get after it, and we'll compete.
You have anything else on this particular Badger team, Grimmer, that you want to get into?
No.
Okay, because I should have done it in the stretch 4, but I wanted to do the foul baiting thing. But part of the thing I love to do with you, as you know, is go back in time to when you were here, 92 to 96, right? So the Badgers of that ilk, that was Stu Jackson was coaching, Stan Van Gundy for a couple of years, and Michael Finley was their stud, which is crazy to think about. Rashard Griffith, I think. What do you remember about those groups and those games?
Just what you said. Rashard Griffith, Stan Van Gundy, Stu Jackson. I mean, and then I remember the old field house in Madison.
I wondered, yeah.
And I remember, if I remember this right, you had to walk from the court, like through the beer garden, like to get to your locker room, and they would rope it off. And can you just imagine that for a second?
Yeah.
Going through at halftime in Madison through the beer garden.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. But I kind of miss it, actually.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun, right? Just get them all. I think that was pretty fun. And I think I remember that year we swept Wisconsin one of those years at the end, and we went down to Madison and won. And again, there was a time, we were live, there was a time where, there was a lot different reality of both basketball programs.
For sure.
There was a time, and I was there. I was part of that. And again, they do a great job and all that stuff like that. But, we're here to try to change that narrative, and things don't stay the same forever, and it's our job to change that. And so, I think Minnesota's lost 16 straight times to Wisconsin in basketball. That stings.
For sure. I'd be in the beer garden,
I was going to ask, were you tempted on the way to the locker room to stop off for a beverage?
Maybe after the game, yeah. They probably wouldn't have minded there too, and what do they call it? Mad Town? Is that what we call it here or whatever? I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking forward to Tuesday. Again, a lot of respect, and it's a game you're looking forward to. You kidding me? I mean, Tuesday night in the barn, Wisconsin, we should have a great crowd. We know we're going to get their best, but it's our job to give them our best.
From a standpoint, you mentioned Cade's playing like every minute of every game. Bobby Durkin played all 45 the other night. And I guess I ask you this, and you probably roll your eyes every time I do, but making sure your guys are, have their legs about them. Did you see anything the other night that indicated that they weren't, or were you good with everything?
I mean, listen, anytime the guys have to play 45 minutes, I'm sure they felt it, after the game, and they felt it the next day. But no, man, we got a 3-hour grinder coming up after this today, right? Like, shell drill for 30 minutes, getting on the floor. We need to get tougher, Grim. No, I mean, I listen, it is what it is. You come out of those games and you start to get the nicks and bruises and all that stuff like that, like everyone else does. And so, again, we've talked about it. We've had to change the way we practice, and some of them are almost, I want to say, glorified walkthroughs, so to speak, and try to really pick and choose our bullets of what we do, and just have to trust the guys that, hey, when it's time to play, we're ready to play, because the reality is they're going to have to log that many minutes again. And I don't know what we do in a double overtime game.
Well, they play 50.
I shouldn't say what I mean, right there. But But yeah, we might have to play 50.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, hey, it's a fun week this week. Tuesday night, Gopher Badgers on the men's side, 6 o'clock, and then Wednesday, Guardsy has the call, Gopher women against UCLA.
Hope my voice doesn't crack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, let's keep building those crowds. We'll see everybody Tuesday. Go Gophers.
Gophersports.com for tickets. This has been Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved from Learfield.